Hey!
Hey!
Hello.
Hi,
Hi,
girls!
girls.
Hey
Great.
girls!
And
Long
Now
you?
time
we are
no see.
complete. Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. Thank you so much for joining live, everybody. We hope you found it okay. We are, as any podcast, we are back from winter break. So usually we stream kind of every other week. We did a bit of a winter break to recharge. And now we are back and with the three of us. It's so
Ah,
exciting.
finally!
Yes.
Yes.
Um, yeah, so welcome everybody. This week is just going to be a really casual chat. It's just the three of us talking about 2025, what's in store, what are maybe trends that we're looking out to, also what you, as the audience, are maybe interested in. So we have some topics to cover. And yeah, we're really, really excited to have you. And then next round will be again an interview podcast. So this time's just us.
Indeed.
Welcome.
Yeah.
So excited.
Yeah, indeed.
It's like the
I
first
miss you,
time we're
girls.
doing it. Yeah, me too. No,
I'm
me
so happy to
too.
be back.
Yes, and it's in my head 2025 still sounds like the future, even though that probably makes me sound like a grandma, but
No, I get
So
it.
true.
I'm not still used to say 2025. I need to control myself to prevent saying 2024. So,
probably until like March, and then like we catch
for
up
sure.
there.
Indeed.
For sure.
No, that's amazing. But we made it to the other side. We're all still in one piece. We're all still together. So that's really, really
Indeed.
cool.
Mm.
Yes.
Yeah.
So 2025, new year. Lots of people use this for New Year's resolutions or to like reinvent themselves. So maybe we can first talk a little bit about like we've been running this podcast in one version or another for some time, right? But maybe we can
Indeed.
talk a little bit about like what are our goals with the podcast. And while we do, if you're watching live, maybe do you have any goals for 2025? Like, let us know anything that you're really interested in, your personal goals. Love to
Indeed,
hear it.
please, so we can also copy if we will like it. No.
Very
But
effective.
actually, yeah, actually, when we finished the year, we were speaking about our website that we had like a landing page right now, but in the future, we wanted to invest some time in developing a new one together, so we can also learn to work together in some new tool or new technology. And I think for this year will be a nice goal, isn't it, to have for the podcast to create finally our own website, showcasing the 8 episodes that we will have, and probably I don't know, maybe making a page so we can get feedback from the audience, like a form or something like that. We
Mhm.
can create something cool together. That would be amazing, and maybe live. Who knows?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I feel like that's the only way to get us to commit to it. Like,
Indeed.
like the pressure of building in public on it so that we actually do it.
Yeah, indeed.
And tell that in public. So,
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So now we have committed. If we don't catch up with it, then we have
yeah.
failed. No, but of course we also want to spread the word about the podcast and see if there are any other people that we can invite to our community. Or I feel like, I mean, I always think it sounds so like capitalistic in air quotes and like a evil, like conquer the world kind of way. Like, oh, we need to grow our community. No, but more like spread the awareness. And then if people think it's for them, they can join, right? So that would be also one goal, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
indeed.
Yeah, we like to keep our podcast community driven. So,
Yes.
yeah, never sounds like, let's say, like, let's conquer the world way,
No,
but
no, no.
Yeah, but indeed, it would be nice to connect more with the community
Yes.
in order to, yeah, really know who is watching us and who is talking with us. That would be cool. Like at some point to get to know them also. Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
yeah,
that would be really
also
cool.
giving the spotlight to some amazing, like folks that we want our community or people to know about it. So, yeah.
Sure, I
Yeah.
like that. We didn't put that as a goal, isn't it? Like to have really cool people in the show. Why? That should be the main one, I
I
think.
mean, there are already cool people on the show right now. No, I'm joking. No, but that's true. That would be really cool. And maybe that could be connected to the website because we were also discussing would be cool if we could have a form where folks can like, either suggest people to join or to like apply themselves if they have a topic that they want to talk about, right? And that would kind of like link really nicely with the website and also with having more cool people on the show for sure.
Indeed, indeed. Confirm.
Yeah. And last year we actually met in person. So that would also be amazing if we could arrange something in 2025,
Yeah,
right?
please.
Yeah,
With the three of us.
I would need it definitely.
No, that was so nice.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, Arisa and I were meeting for a little adventure
Indeed.
already,
Yeah.
but we need something with actually the three of us. Also, an event where I'm not scared for my life. So
Exactly. If you can keep yourself together for that meeting.
exactly, yeah, really exciting.
Yeah, so lots of exciting, let's say, goals and things we want to do are ahead in this year. So,
Yes. And one thing that we haven't mentioned is that we're hoping to get a sponsor in 2025, right? Like I'm just gonna put it out there in the world to manifest maybe. Because it would be really cool. I mean, of course, we're doing this for fun. We're not planning to make money with it, but it would be nice if it wasn't costing us money. Full disclosure. I mean, right now we're kind of paying for this, so um, so yeah, that would be really nice, and that's definitely one goal. That would be really cool to
Indeed.
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
And I would say, like, for now, if whoever is watching this show live or recording, if you're interested in sponsoring us or would like to know about it just casually, you can definitely, like contact one of us on the social media. We all are on the X, also LinkedIn. Some of us are in Blue Sky. So yeah, you can, like send us the DM or, like mention us on the tweet, or is it even called tweet nowadays? I don't know, but
Yeah, I
just
don't
like
know.
We are
put out there.
boomers from
Yeah.
from the real social media world. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be like chaotic, but where to reach us out. So we are happy. We're gonna be happy to discuss. Yeah.
Yeah,
Indeed.
for sure. And also sometimes it doesn't have to be like an individual, right? Sometimes
Mm.
companies want to sponsor something for women in tech, and that would be the name. That would be the time to drop our name, basically. Somebody wants to
Yeah. Yeah.
greenwash themselves. We're happy
Imagine, yeah.
to be on the receiving end of that. No, I'm joking. Moving
Evil
on.
Josie, yeah.
I really
Love
miss this atmosphere.
it.
Yeah, I
Me
feel like
too.
over the break we have forgotten what it is like to go on a live stream, and just
Oh
like
yeah.
all facade has gone.
Exactly, yeah. We are not ready anymore. Yeah.
No, no, not
Yeah.
ready.
That's why it's perfect to casually start and casually talk about what we want to do this year. So, yeah.
And if you have any, well, the people watching the show, if you have any goals for this year you want to share just because you are so proud of them or because you think you are gonna make it, because of course we can have these goals but maybe never do them. It's just, yeah, what we want, but let's see how it goes in the year. But still, we wanted to bring you something else so you can learn with us on what is a topic we need to know in this 2025 or we need to learn about or what is trending nowadays. And yeah, Arisa, Josie, and I has created a curated list of things that probably will be trendy, probably will go out of trend when it happens to be the first quarter, and then they go forgotten. But let's see what is coming. So yeah, of course, the first one shouldn't be other than AI powered things, but in this case, AI powered development, because probably you already saw that we have a trend of using GitHub Copilot in Visual Studio Code, or ChatGPT for queries related to code, or even DevTools now have a way of asking about a bug, and the AI can generate an answer for that, like maybe check in this file or whatever, and help you debug. That's crazy. So before we were fully into AI, but now it's like everyone is using it. Everyone, even the people that are a little bit against it or doesn't like to work with them, we are still doing it because at work we are being promoted, isn't it? If you use
Mm-hmm.
it more, you are more productive, so it goes better for you at your work. So yeah, what do you
No,
think about this?
it's a big one. I feel like some people, if you talk to people, a lot of people are like, oh, I really don't want to, kind of, like, but we all a little bit have to. And especially if you look at, I mean, the job market is an entire different conversation, but if you look for just in general job openings, they're like very centered around AI. There's a lot, from my gut feeling, a lot less jobs, just like normal jobs, and then a lot of like, okay, you have to train this AI and you have to do this and that. And you're like, oh no, I wish I could like never deal with this. But indeed, it's making us faster. And I love the debugging tool in Chrome. That is so helpful. Like, even just to point you something you overlooked to the right file, or to like tell you where to check. I love it. It's teaching you as well to be a better developer, right? So I really love that one.
Yeah, it's not like I'm completely against with the AI. Actually, I'm more for like pro, just for people to know. I mean, like not completely, but I'm more for like the go for AI side, because I mean, if people can perform better with the help of the AI, why not? And it's not
Mm-hmm.
like you're just copying everything and pasting everything and submitting your essay in a school. That's completely different.
Yeah.
So we are doing in a way to make our job better. So that's how I see the AI's possibilities. And honestly, without it, I would struggle, because every time, I'm not perfect, I'm human. So every time, like when I write TypeScript, then definitely I'm gonna make some few minor mistakes. And sometimes to realize about it, depending on like how long I was working in this day, maybe like if it's close to the evening, my focus is like out of
Mm.
somewhere. So it's much more productive to have the help from the AI to notice that, oh, I forgot the type definition here, or oh, here is defined as any, because my things are falling, So it actually really helps. And I would say like, yeah, probably like using the GitHub Copilot is like something that I always like pretty much like every day, like getting the benefits of it. Like this example from the TypeScript, I feel like I'm doing a rubber duck debugging like
Yeah.
with more conversational way, even though the person who I'm talking to is an AI.
Not a
but
person. Yeah.
but still I feel like, oh, okay, then now I understood. Thanks for explaining,
Hmm.
and I have a better understanding and even learning something new. So yeah, I wouldn't say AI is like completely like bad things that people should be afraid of. Maybe it's because like some people are like concerned about like that the AIs might take over their jobs. But yeah, I don't think this will happen that immediately, something like that. So maybe something in the future, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I feel like AI is a whole different conversation to have. And like the benefits of it, and there are for sure risks that should not be overlooked. But as a trend in tech, it's really interesting, and it seems there is like a lot of momentum, right? And so that's like it's really like everything is happening so fast, and it's just really, really interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, indeed.
Alba, how do you feel?
Well, I feel that for me, it become better after some time. Like in
Hmm.
the beginning, I was really afraid of losing my skills in order to search things or
Hmm.
learn things because of abuse of these kind of tools. But since I started integrating in the parts that maybe I was rusty at, or I need to automate things, then it become better, my relationship with it, because I wasn't afraid of losing my skill because of using another tool that will substitute my thinking,
Hmm.
but introducing it in things that I'm still learning at, or wanted to grow even more. So I start learning from it instead of the opposite. So I think you need to have your balance in your setup. It's the same as automating things. Some people say, "Well, you are doing that. You can have this file automating this," but this is my task to get rid of the mental day, and get rid of the stress
Hmm.
when I'm doing this manual thing. It's like some people use a lot of command shortcuts. I really like to know where they are in the menu,
Hmm.
like physically the thing I want to click. I want to know exactly the position. It's just how my mind works. So
Hmm.
that's what I felt, that I learned how to interact with AI without being overwhelmed by it. So right now I'm happier, yeah, with these trends.
Well, that's a really good development then.
It's like psychology with the AI
Yeah.
tools.
No, that's true. But like speaking of that, I think sometimes it really helps just to describe your problem. And even though you put in like really messy human thoughts, like I really talk to it, and sometimes I say like, "Oh, I'm so overwhelmed. I have to do this and that," and then I describe the problem, and then they're like very kind, and that's really helpful.
Yeah, they're all
Thanks
very
for
polite.
appreciating. Yeah.
And sometimes they even seek for the feedback, right?
Yeah.
In the end,
Ah,
like,
yeah, indeed,
right?
indeed.
Yeah, that's quite nice. They want to improve, so.
Love it.
That's good. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, I was just like responding to the comment in the chat, and yeah, I see like Daniel is frightened by the dentist appointment he's gonna have.
Oh boy. Yeah, that is something
Yeah,
to survive for sure. Fingers crossed for you.
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh man. The next thing, well, actually, funnily enough, now that we're speaking about AI, we were, of course, asking in preparation for this episode. We were also researching trends and tech developments to look out for, and of course, some of us, like me, look to AI to provide like an overview of like buzzwordy topics. And we were just joking before going live that my AI already knows me, so it suggested that sustainability will be a big topic in the tech development and also accessibility. And while I think that's very nice that it knows me so well and tells me what I want to know, I have a feeling, of course, with the upcoming legislations in the EU, accessibility, of course, will be a little bit more important. I'm not sure it's like in the same list as AI, if you know what I mean. Like it's not it's not quite there in terms of the popularity. But I thought it was really funny that it's personalized.
But actually, think about it. Imagine that instead of being personalized because you are interested in AI, in accessibility, is because the AI learned from you all the accessibility issues that are happening and all the
yeah.
accessibility acts and Europe law that is
Hmm.
changing. So maybe he knows more, or she knows more about it than mine,
I mean, that's a very nice thought. Yeah, but maybe.
I love to think that way. Like you teach ChatGPT
Yeah.
the best use of accessibility, and now he knows which ones are the trend or not. I love it.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
No, yeah, but I thought it was really funny. I feel like it's also telling me what I want to hear.
Love it, love it. No, but still, there's some things that are not related to accessibility in the trends that it generated, and also I had it in common when I generated mine. And we can see Web3 was a big topic because it seems something has changed in the ecosystem, even if I don't exactly know what. We can see that it's shared with us that there's already some tools that are decentralized literally, like it's not just a theoretical mindset. It
Mm.
now they have proof of how it can work for identity systems and probably things that we are not customers of or users of. Probably there's more government things or security companies behind it, and that's why probably we don't actually get the benefit yet, but probably banks and other systems, financial systems, will have these benefits from Web3 being more stable and being more, I think, with a proof and not just buzzwords. Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's really really cool to see that happening and that we have finally found something useful and not just cool for the kids like with other tools. You know, when people create social media or something thinking on the best of it and then it become the worst for the people, you know, at least in Web3 it seems that now there's something useful, isn't it, and not just NFTs removing money from your bank account. So that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's one way to look at it. Yeah.
Yeah,
No, but
but it's yeah.
I'm
Oh, sorry. Go
go
ahead.
ahead, Arisa.
Oh, I was just gonna give my comments about Web3 is still like a bit scarier than AI for me, at least a bit, because yeah, it touches around like a little bit more personal, like ID or like privacy area. So I'm a bit concerned about it, and I honestly want to have Jessie back in our live streaming. Because when she joined us, I learned so much, but I still feel too newbie around that area. So, yeah.
That's what I was gonna say. It's really like, and for me, it's an intimidating topic, and so
Mm,
I felt like Jesse provided a really cool overview, and
yeah.
we probably have to revisit or come back
Yeah, indeed.
to that. If it's a
Mm,
trending topic, we should probably, yeah, go back, learn more, and then be less scared.
yeah. So, future episode topic on the to-do list or
Yeah,
in the
Indeed.
backlog.
I'm already
And
making
probably,
notes.
yeah, probably this time we can focus on the stream instead of the theory behind it
Mm,
because we had already that conversation. Maybe
yeah.
the tools or the companies using it
Mm,
and the use case
Hmm.
that they are having. That would be amazing. So we can understand at least the use case for this.
yeah.
And I
Yeah,
think with that it would be better for us. Yeah.
a little
Mm,
bit less abstract, right?
mm.
Exactly. Yeah.
Practical
More
example.
practical. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh, that's cool. And the last thing on the first list, with many lists, is edge computing.
Oh,
So
nice.
like Internet of Things, real life applications for gaming, VR, virtual reality, or like what does AR stand for?
Augmented reality. You
Augmented. Ah,
like the
that was the
games
word.
that
Yes.
you scan something and it becomes 3D or
I
something.
was
It's so weird.
gonna,
Yeah.
yeah, I was gonna say I'm missing an English word here. No, but that's um, no, but that's also really, really interesting in terms of what like what ChatGPT suggested was in terms of performance, right? Because these things are really like data intense and really consuming a lot of performance, and that would be really interesting to see how that gets streamlined and be more incorporated in our day to day, right? As we already see with augmented reality, but still, that's going to be a really interesting one for sure.
Yeah, indeed, it's
Mm,
really cool that we are evolving in terms of how cloud yeah,
Hmm.
done, because every year you face that every website you visit is faster than before. It's like I don't imagine a more fast website than what we have right now. It's crazy. With edge
Yeah.
computing, everything is immediate, isn't it? I mean, of course, if you have 3G, probably you don't see it that way, but but with our internet and the stable connection I have is crazy fast. And of course, if we start improving also in these kind of situations where your network is crap, that will be even better. But still a really a step forward for everything we are doing. And I hope
Yeah.
edge computing also makes smaller the application, not just fast, so we can have less data and of course it will be less pollution to the
Hmm.
world. So that would be amazing. And actually sustainability was one of the trends, isn't it? Maybe edge
Yeah.
computer is
mm,
kind of helping with that as in some way.
Mm. And that's interesting how this sustainability aspect kind of goes into all the different themes, right? Because if something performs well, it will also be more sustainable. And AI is a massive topic when it comes to sustainability because it's not sustainable at all, which is something that most of us kind of ignore in our day to day, myself included, right? I love when it writes me a packing list, but I don't think of the amount of data that it's consuming and how bad it is for the environment. So
Hmm.
that's definitely,
mm.
yeah, especially in combination, the trends are kind of interesting, aren't they?
Yeah, and I think Daniel is kind of mentioning about like briefly about that. Yeah, I see that the yeah, if you're gonna let's say like host the own, large language model, then it's very expensive, and that's true. And this also like relates with the sustainability and all the let's say like the buzzed, hyped, like new technologies that are in the trends are expensive and something that probably yeah, not so much considering about the sustainability yet. So that's something we also need to, yeah, probably consider. Like wow, we are also gonna dream of something, like getting into, like the new world with the new, like cool technologies. So yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm,
For sure.
yeah, performance hungry. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
something. Yeah,
that's the
explains
word.
things. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. No, that's really interesting. And we also looked a little bit into more framework specific trends as well. I don't know if any of you has thoughts about the things that we found there.
Well, actually, when I saw that they were saying Vue 3 composition API was getting traction, it become the norm basically in the Vue ecosystem. So now using Options API is really you have a product that is built in the legacy of Vue 2 and you want to migrate to Vue 3. It seems too scary to migrate entire project from scratch.
Mm,
So you just migrate with Options API in Vue 3 activated basically. But at some point, if you get rid of that, you have composition API. It's easier to use, or at least mentally is easier to understand than it was before. But of course, when you are so used to Options API and want to migrate to Composition API at the beginning, it's like, ugh, what is this? But then after sometimes you can go back. It's crazy. You can go back because the
Mm-hmm.
flexibility it gives you and how you can structure your content to be in another file so it doesn't get too loaded of business logic is really
mm,
amazing. So yeah, now the AI is just confirming that now everyone is going that way when using Vue and ignoring the options API finally. So at some point, maybe in Vue 4, they can deprecate it. I don't know. Because of course legacy things and enterprise is difficult.
oh yeah.
But of course they can try at least to have an option without.
Mm. Yeah, I'm guessing like migration like process is always painful. It's almost like yeah, same feeling, like when you're not stretching your body, then it's stretching, like since for like who knows long for months, weeks, then it's gonna hurt, right? But then like when you start keep doing it, flexing your body, then it feels like more flexible and less painful. That's how I feel, like the migration
I
process.
love that analogy. Eh? I will use it. It's like I just go into the view gym because I need to
Yeah.
start understanding a new feature.
I love it.
That's how I always felt. It's painful just the beginning, and later you're gonna get used to. So,
True. Yeah, that applies
yeah.
to many things in life.
Indeed.
Yeah. And I would say, like, for the React is always, I would say, like, yeah, try to invent like cool new features, but always creates the huge discussions, in my opinion,
Mm-hmm.
from what I see. I don't know how the other React developers are seeing things, but that's how I see that. But I like it. I mean, like, that's how it should be, isn't it? It shouldn't be that the frameworks and libraries are like here, that's what we, like already implemented. You must use it. That's the only way. But rather than that, people are gathering and then exchanging the ideas, feedback, or some different perspectives. And then, in my opinion, React is always, taking into considerations, and also, like try to, like get the constant feedback, and then try to, like come up with, let's say, like stable versions of it, or with more, um, I would say, like hands-on, like the use cases. So yeah, I mean, like we've already seen, streaming functionality, like things like that. But yeah, I think it's not too fast. That's also what I like it, because if they, like implement new features like too fast too often, then I would lose the hook, because product developments or something in the products, do not have much, let's say, like lots of cost, that they can, migrate, like those features like all the time. So yeah, that's what I also felt like when I saw, like our list and what our great AI friend suggested us. Yeah. But I saw the Svelte kit. It's gonna read. I'm no Svelte kit person, so correct me if someone watching this and expert about the Svelte. But they're gonna release the new version of it, right? Or am I
Aren't they
wrong?
always?
Yeah,
No,
they're
but
always.
so what Daniel's also referring to in the comments is Swelt 5 runes, and
Oh yeah.
that is already out. So I'm not sure what the upcoming, like the next release then would be, or if it's already planned or in beta. I honestly don't know at this point anymore. I kind of left the Swelt universe just because there was too many other demands. But yeah, so I also don't have a fully formed opinion on the runes that I would like to talk about. But I'm really happy that Svelte is gaining so much traction and that it's coming up and that it's becoming a little bit more kind of the choice, a little bit also like what happened to Vue, right? That becomes a
Hmm.
more logical choice for companies that are growing and that get to choose a new framework. And I think that's amazing for the community because folks enjoy working with it. And that's really positive.
Mm. Yeah. I mean, like healthy community and also growing community along with the libraries and the frameworks are something that I would also like, yeah, be happy about to stay in the loop, and also the users are, right? So
Yeah, no, for sure, for sure.
mm, yeah.
But it's really interesting. And I would
Mm.
be curious to see if there's already like a new JavaScript framework on the horizon or a new front end framework that we should look out for. I haven't heard anything. I haven't really kept my finger on the pulse that much. Oh, is there something coming, Alba? You look
No, for
excited.
sure there have been coming every month, like always.
Yeah.
But I mean that successfully make it
Yeah,
to
that's what I
something
meant.
that
Yeah.
is useful and people are
Mm.
using it in enterprise, then that's another topic. I
Mm-hmm.
don't think we
Yeah.
are there yet. But still every day someone has an idea. That's for
Fair
Yeah.
sure.
enough. Yeah,
And
fair
no one
enough.
is stopping them. No. But it's still for the Svelte 5 rules. I was just checking right now what they are because I don't
Yeah.
use Svelte. That's the
Mm.
reality. I use Vue, Next, and sometimes I touch Next, but I mean just touch it. And I was checking, and it seems that it's the same as symbols. So basically, like the reference reactivity system, whatever they are building there, they call it that way. So they introduce a new way of doing it. So it's funny because Svelte, I imagine Svelte, I don't know why, like a diamond. It has some kind of logo that looks like a diamond, or I just invented in my head. Because rune is like also like something like mythologic, no? Or something
Yeah.
like a rune. And I was thinking, oh, what they are always with rocks. What is happening?
No, I
I was
don't.
more,
I
more catched by the name than the actual thing, you know? It's like runes. Why?
Yeah, but it's funny because isn't the founder originally from Sweden? Am I making this up now? But and that's what I that was my first analogy was like, oh, so they're like going with the Viking analogy, and
I love it. Maybe it's why, yeah?
I
We
I have
need to
no
ask.
idea.
We need to ask. Probably there's
or
a discussion about that already. We need to
or
check.
to do
I'm
this for the future episode,
yeah.
invite Svelte expert.
Indeed, indeed. Let's talk about rooms. And probably invite that one and a shaman. So we can talk about the real rooms, and that would be poop.
That's
Oh
that's the
man.
intersection the tech podcasting world has been missing. Period. Like I'm gonna make a note of that. Hmm.
Oh my god.
Love it.
Sorry, Daniel, for going out of the topic, but yeah, he was saying something about Vue. Let's see what he was saying. Oh, you remind me about something. Evan, you, the creator of Vue, once held a talk where he explained when Vue really took off. It was when Taylor Oakwell, the creator of Laravel, sent a tweet about Vue. That's true. The same as
Mm.
Tailwind. I mean, Laravel guys needs to use Svelte. If they didn't use it yet, probably they do and didn't create the post yet. Let's wait for it. No, it's crazy. That's true, isn't it? I think the PHP community is welcoming every framework out there. It's like,
That's
please
amazing.
come.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah.
I love it. We need to be in the PHP community.
I
I
would
think we
say
need to, yeah,
Yeah,
the
it was in the
Laravel. Yeah.
backlog for long.
And that's
Yeah.
true.
indeed.
Yeah.
We need the Laravels with us and us
Mm.
being in the Laravels, like
Yeah,
inception,
both
like in the
ways.
other part.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's what the podcast has needed, right? Like for
Mm.
our growth goals. So
Oh yeah.
circling back to that. No, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And are there other trends that you want to highlight that you noticed when like browsing a little bit? Anything else came across?
I don't know if I can call it trends because I've already known that, but from what I searched, because I didn't want to go override the info, so I did my own little research as well quickly, and I would say like yeah, the style around, like in the front end world with the components would be something I would say like more accelerate. What I mean by that to say is like we used to, I mean, front end developers, we used to sometimes like 100% like doing like our jobs for styling, or sometimes like majority of it, and it took some great amount of the time, I would say. But nowadays like we have a lot of like nice UI libraries, or even you can use the power of the AI. Like I was quite, I mean, we were talking, outside of, the live streaming, that we kind of, yeah, got amazed and interested in by the chat cn. And also now the Vercel hired the creator of the chat cn, right?
Really?
Yeah, I think I saw
Yeah,
the
probably. I mean, I
the
don't know.
yeah, I saw that. And also I mean, Fireship, they also talked about it, so I think that's correct.
Then for sure,
So
yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Fireship
and
is a good source, we
yeah,
can
yeah.
say.
I always take a look at it. Yeah, and then like since then, even like in the Vercel, they have the V0. I think it's called V0, right? This AI, I would call it like tool where you can prompt like what kind of components you wanna, let's say like have a POC of it, and then they would actually like generate it for you, like pretty much like quick. And in there you will have like the already built-in feature that you can, I think you can generate, the chassis and CLI command that you can just like copy and
Mm.
paste and already use it into your existing project. So you don't need to do much of the hard work that to come up with like, okay, so to like create this button component with the gradient, like the background and also like the hover animations, what I need to do. You don't need to do that. You just need to, like throw like what you want to do in the V0 in Vercel, and then they will create the component that's pretty much like most of the time using the chassis. And then you can just like copy and paste into your existing project. And you also can create the your own like component library, because this like copy and paste, URL, the command you can generate from the v0 can be public, so you can create your own component library that people can use it too. So I would say like the styling, like, and creating, like the component libraries, that's something that we need to shift our mind into it. That's something you need to save your time, not spending tons of time. That's what I saw the trend, I would say. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it was already there, but probably it's going to be even more common thing to do in the production. Yeah.
Yeah,
What do
that's
you
really
think?
cool. Yeah. It looks also so clean and fancy. I already just enjoy looking at the website. But sorry, that's obviously not the point of it. But I was just like, oh, that looks really nice. Actually, I didn't know it before, and so I'm happy you mentioned it. Whether it's a new trend or not, so it's really cool tool.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like it's always that it's in the nature of the developers, like try to save their time and then be more efficient. So I see this kind of movement, like around, the people who I know are talking, and also the sources where I take a look at always is also talking about. So I took it as a trend. Yeah.
Yeah, indeed, I saw it as a trend too because, of course, I didn't get to use it as much as I want because there's token limitations. So you run it for 5 times and you get out of tokens and you need to wait. So it's not like something you can use right now without paying
Mm.
freely. But I had a lot of colleagues that have shared with me all the time. See the project I created with V0. See what you can do with V0. It's like getting a spam because of it. So I think the trend is there, even if we didn't know exactly why people are using it. Of course,
No,
they are
yeah.
promoting it properly. That's why. But still, one thing that Arisa mentioned about this DCN, I mean, it's so confusing the name. I need to
Yeah.
contact the guy because it's DCN is so close to CDN. If you are so used to say CDN, like in the web ecosystem, DCN is just breaking my mind. But it's still, everyone I know has created a template or has created a theme from the DCN for the framework that didn't have. So it's kind of being used by everyone. People are getting crazy with it. I guess because they have the kind of similarities with headless UI from Tailwind ecosystem, but since headless has become more private and paid over time, maybe they want to have something for everyone, and that's why the SAT DCN is taking off because there's other tools that are getting paid, and before it wasn't a paid service. A lot of them are doing that. Like they start freely, and then they start incorporating things paid,
Mm-hmm.
and at some points you just can use it because everything is paid again. So yeah, it's crazy. Like I don't like that turn. If you make it free since the beginning, try to have a plan, a mental model or something for when you will get paid, but not for your users, but for
Yeah.
companies or something like that, isn't it? Like someone
Yeah.
that can really pay.
Yeah.
No, that makes sense. But it's kind of like sometimes also with the scaling costs arise,
Hmm.
Mm.
right? And then maybe folks who wanted to keep it free. I mean, not everybody has good intentions, but maybe folks want to keep it free, but they just can't because they need to cover the costs of like all the, yeah, the things that come up. Sorry, I think he's really hungry. My
Love it,
cat
He's
love
turned
really
up and is just
like enjoy the
pacing
live show.
in front of the keyboard. Sorry about that.
it. I love it.
I like that. And I also had the not my package, not pizza,
Yeah.
but my neighbor's package. They
Oh
always
no.
order.
Oh,
And I
same for
don't
me,
know if
eh?
it's
I
mine
never
or
receive
theirs.
one. It's
Yeah.
always from someone else. It's like it's so disappointing. It's like going, it's for me? No. It's like, why you ring my bell then?
Same.
Aw, mental
It's
note
so
to
sad.
send Arisa an Alba package. No, but
Thank you.
actually, Daniel was asking if there's
Oh
any
yeah.
websites or anything we use to like keep up with tech news. Do you have any recommendations for folks?
I don't stick around with one for like checking the daily, like news. But speaking of daily.dev, I guess that's what
Oh
it's
yeah.
called. The browser extension. And that's something useful, I would say. I don't always check like every day, but yeah, that's something I would quickly like have a look when I have time. And I mean for casually because when I sit in front of the laptop, then I usually like have things that I need to do. So probably like I would avoid like checking the news like for my first thing to do
Hmm.
because I would be easily distracted and probably would be lacking out of the time to do things what I need to do. So I would probably like often check on my phone and for easy one like not using so much brains and energy, I would go for like Fireship because they
That's a good
update
one.
like
Yeah.
yeah that's update like I mean they're really good by the way and also entertaining. So I like their memes. It's like really good. So yeah, and they upload like quite often in my opinion. So to get the summary of it, I would probably like go for that. But I would also like check dev2, and then I would say like yeah, when I Google it quickly, then when I see the blog post in the Medium, then that's what I also like still like check. I mean, I'm not sure like which sources like you would prefer, but I would like go like in a very various range of it, or see what my friends are like talking about on social media. So yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I was gonna say like definitely these days LinkedIn more than Twitter,
Mm.
but I think it's really like I try to follow folks where I know they will share interesting things, also folks from Google, for example, or things like that. And then I just shared it in our own chat because I can't share to YouTube. I ages ago I started a discussion on DevTO about like newsletters that folks sign up for, and some people in the comments recommended also some really good news letters. It's a bit older, the article, but still like the newsletters are still around. And for me personally, newsletters are a really good way to keep up because they come once a week and not like I have to check every day, but it's just like once a week or I don't know every month or something, so that you can kind of like have it condensed in one place and not go all over.
Yeah, and also I would say like some of like influential like developers, they also have their own newsletters. So
Indeed.
sign up for it and they will share with you, like useful tips, not just about the trends, but like something like, yeah, upcoming new features, like let's say like gonna be built in on the browser or, like in the libraries framework. So yeah, that's where you also could check it too. So newsletter, I completely forgot about. So thanks for bringing up, Josephine.
Of course. Of
What
course.
about you, Alba? Where do
Well,
you always check?
in my case, it's just for example, I have newsletters because I subscribe to everything I log in, and I know that's not a good practice for myself because I have 20 emails a day, but still I read them. So it's
Wow.
crazy because no, sometimes they are not, they are basic words and then the feature, and I just read the title and I get with it. But for example, when you join education platform for your framework, for example, View School or View Mastery, they usually send once a month a recap of all the things that are trendy in your language. So I think that's the ones I keep reading because at the end it's the ecosystem I'm in and the framework I touch every day. So I want to be up to date in that. But in general, for general trends, I really like Smasi Magazine. And also the newsletters are combined between workshops and things that are not just knowing but also practical way of learning. And thanks to that newsletter, I subscribe to new two workshops that they are having in February to learn about design systems architecture and how to set up yours basically in the company, not just personally. So it was like a really cool thing, isn't it? A newsletter can bring you also the opportunity to jump into a conference or in a setup that you will learn practically how to use something, not just reading about it. So yes, in general, everything that you see that you like in a website, if they have newsletters, subscribe because usually it's aligned with what you see in the website. And for people, I have a Spanish influencers in tech, let's say, that I follow. So they send me every 2 months or so a newsletter with the things that are trendy in our area, like in Spain or in Latin America. But that's really specific. I don't think everyone will notice.
But that's interesting. I was about to say for like the library specific newsletter, then I checked this week in React because they have really nice sources. That you can read it like while you're on the way to go somewhere or just chilling at home. So that's where I would also take a look at it. But something regional specific, I didn't have an idea. So that's interesting.
Yeah.
Nice. So I think we cover like the trends that are
Yeah,
Yeah,
gonna
most
indeed.
of it.
come
Yeah.
up like in 2025. And we still have a few more minutes if I'm right. Or it's almost about to wrap it up.
Yeah, I think we wrap it up really perfectly with where we do get our information. Also, for
True.
sure, people sharing it with you. Just make a community of nerdy people that tells to you in WhatsApp or Telegram. Alba, did you check this? Because actually, I have friends that every time it's like, "Did you see the news performance, whatever?" And it's like, "Oh, this is cool." And otherwise, I will not know it. So it's really nice to have people from other ecosystems in your community that can tell you what is new in their own section of the development. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, and just to finish and really wrap up this episode, thank you so much for joining. And of course, Daniel, for being always there for us. And as always, we will have every 2 weeks one episode now that we have started the year. So expect one in the next 2 weeks with a guest this time, not only us, but someone else. And if, of course, if you have any topics or suggestions for what we want to talk about in the podcast, please let us know. We will be happy to start talking about that. And of course, expect things from this trendy list because at the end, give us ideas on where to look at, isn't it? And of course, Larables, you are invited. We will send you a clip from this moment, okay? Thank you so much. And as always, remember, we all belong in tech. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bye, girls.
Oh,
Bye.
thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.